Hello, everybody, and welcome to James C. Starke Radio. On the show with us tonight, we've got Dutch Rosenberg Theater. You guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man, good.
Do me a favor and introduce yourselves.
Dutch, frontman.
I'm Dave, rhythm guitar.
I'm Cliff, drums.
And we got a couple other guys that couldn't make it tonight, or at
Yeah,
least
we
one.
got Dirty on bass.
Yeah,
He,
Dirty Jones.
He's in jail tonight. No, I'm just kidding. He just couldn't make it.
He's actually at another band practice, so.
Traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
No.
a band whore.
I hear ya. So, Dutch, tell me how did this start?
Well, I've always been a fan of thrash metal. Cliff and I are fans of old school thrash, and I met Cliff back in '96. We had an old band together. We did. That lasted through about 2010, 2012, and we put that down. But then I decided, hey, I want to pick it back up again. So we just picked up the old thrash routine once more with a couple of twists on it. Dave's been a good friend of ours for a long time, was in the old band, and he was still available. So we hooked up with these great guys. Dirty had dibs on bass guitar because I had known him for a good many years, and he said, if you ever want to do anything again, call me. Sure enough, I did with this project. I called him, he was available, and it's rest is history. We've just been doing this thrash four-piece gig ever since. Did our compilation CD in 2017, released it in 2018, and just been riding that horse ever since. And there you are. There's a brief history of the band.
Yeah, there you go. Where are you from originally?
I'm Phoenix. You know, I've been here for the last 25 years, so I don't really count anything else. I was born in Illinois, and I grew up in Denver, but I've been here my almost majority of my life, so I didn't even count any of the others.
What part of Illinois were you born in?
It's southern Illinois. It's actually central Illinois, a little town called Normal.
Oh.
It's where Illinois State University is.
That's kind of funny.
It's
You're from a
really
place
hilarious
called
and
Normal.
ironic.
Yeah? Just
Yeah.
a little bit?
Comes out in Normal.
Yeah.
That is
But I was only there until I was
yeah.
a real little kid, maybe 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
Wasn't there very long at all.
What about you guys? You natives too, or are you guys?
No.
Well, not really natives of the guys, but no. Where are you from?
Originally from Akron, Ohio, and then moved out to Chino Valley, Arizona, just north of Prescott, and then moved down here.
Oh, Dave, where are you from?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm from Michigan, but I've been out here since I was 5. So, like Dutch, I consider myself a Phoenician. So
There you go. Cool.
you know, so been here ever since.
Very cool, man. What's where did you get your start? Start with you, Dutch. How did you get into music?
Well, I, in high school, started picking up the guitar. I was a late bloomer. But the guy who really got me into wanting to play was Joe Satriani.
Oh,
And
he's
when I
awesome.
heard him, I wanted
Yeah.
to play guitar, and it all took off from there. And of course, from there, it grows like a mustard seed. You want to be in a band, you want to get all the chicks, you want to do the whole rock and roll lifestyle, what have you. Rock and roll evolved into heavy metal evolved into thrash metal evolved into death metal. Moved out here to Phoenix in '91, put the band together from there, but it was always been a thrash heavy metal outfit since that. And really just meeting the guys. Cliff's the first drummer I ever met. Only drummer I ever needed, really. I've jammed with a couple other drummers since then, of course, but Cliff and I have been jamming together so long we can read each other like a book. Dave pretty much heard us jamming outside the jam pad one day. He was like, what are these guys doing? He was with some outfit that wasn't really doing anything. Heard us, and he was like, this is what we should be doing, and wound up joining our band. So there you go.
Yeah, it was great just having to stick my head in, you know.
Just jumping in and doing it, man. That's cool. There's always a fun story with everybody, and it's always you just meet at the weirdest places. I mean, think about where you're from and where you're at now, and how you met, and now it's what you're doing now. I know it's cool. Tell me about your new album.
It's an anthology.
By the way, it's really cool, man. I haven't had anybody do anything like this in a long time.
Yeah, you don't hear anything like this, you know.
It reminds me of, like, you're going to the theater and you're sitting down
Right.
and you're listening
You
to
get
the
that
play.
vibe.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If you close your eyes, you can actually, you know, see yourself there and stuff, you know. So
When I first heard it, I threw it in. I'm expecting, okay, like, all right, this is cool. He's talking, and then now there's a story, and I'm like, wow, okay, all right, this is cool. And then I got all into it, and then all of a sudden, blam, you know, and the tune's hit. But it's just cool how you did it. But anyways, I'm talking too much. I want to hear it from you.
No, it's all good.
This reminds me of a night out with, you know, Dutch Rosenberg Theater.
You're out at the theater. That's pretty much the design of
the
it.
theater, and that's how you're
Absolutely.
you're
Well, the concept had always been there. And originally, way back many years ago, I had intended to release it all at once as one big, full, complete album. But money and time permitting, I didn't have the money and resources to do that. So I just decided to release singles starting in about 2011, 2012. So we released Nepa, we released Monte Carlo, What's the Deadliest Weapon in the Face of the Earth. All these things came out as singles initially, just because I wanted to release them. I was tired of waiting, and I had the resources to record them. So I just said, let's just get it out there. Well, finally we got the band together, and we were ready to put it all together as an album. So the album you hear, Curtains, is really an anthology of all those singles we put together over the years, and also a few new releases that were previously unheard.
Cool.
But the original concept was always meant to be...
Excuse me, Dutch. Are you guys staying with the class here? Or do I need to separate you two, or are we gonna be okay?
Yeah. He was surprised I brought him a Coke.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's non-alcoholics drink here.
Oh my! I'm sorry, Dutch.
No, it's all good.
He's used to it.
Keep going.
So you're the front man, babysitter, a little bit of everything now. Yeah, dictator. I have a question to ask you. I'm going to ask you more detail later on this, so let's not get too deep. But I was going to ask you, now you released it in singles, excuse me, and then you released the album later. Are younger new bands and stuff coming up? They're always like, what should we do first? What should we do first? Can you give us a little example of the difference? What did it help to release singles better than it helped to release the full album? I know in your case it just came out that way and it worked, but if another band came up to you and said, Dutch, I have this album out. Should I release these songs as singles first, or should I just release the whole album? Would you have any advice to give them that way? Did it either way work better for you?
There's no wrong answer to that. It's really rides on how much money you have, of course, and that's really where I came up with singles, because I only had so much money to put into it at the time.
Right.
And then when we had enough money, I was able to compile the whole thing and release an album. With the old band, it was always a matter of when you have the money, you can release the album.
Sure.
Because that's the other advantage of doing this is it's all been debt-free. We don't owe anybody any money for releasing these albums. It's all 100% paid for. It's in the black, and anything we make above and beyond that it goes into our pocket or our account. A lot of bands, to answer your question, would borrow money from either an investor or a bank or a record company, and then they wind up owing money for the rest of their career sometimes to whoever it was because they wanted to release an album. So I don't think there's a wrong way of doing it. I think if you have the money to release an album, great, do it. Or if you just want to get it out there and you don't want to wait, go ahead and do a single. Both are correct.
Okay, thank you, man. I hope that answers some questions. I get that sometimes, so I'm glad you brought that up so we can clarify that one. Now, you guys just played in Colorado.
We did.
How did that go, man?
Loved it. Colorado Springs is a great venue.
It was an awesome show.
The Zodiac out there. Met a lot of great people, a lot of great bands.
Good turnout.
Really good show that we had there. There was another metal show across town, and we did fine against them. Did with 4 local acts, which were Distant Warning, Panic, 6 Feet of Anger, and the 4th one escapes me. I'll have to rethink of it here. No Amnesty, I'm sorry, was the 4th act. And all 4 of those bands did absolutely killer, and we're looking forward to going up there again next year.
Oh, very cool. I have to ask you this. After seeing your video, we're going to listen to the song in a second, but do you have an acting background? Are you?
Not really.
No, you just went for this
Not
on there
really.
because you really nailed this. And then the more I've hung around with you, I don't know, you have that down. You should do something with that.
I did go to radio school.
You got no good charisma.
I didn't. I just, but I did act and I did go to music school. But we'll figure it out. Let's play a song, man.
Sounds good.
You guys brought me a couple of them, which is awesome. Which one would you like to do first?
Let's do Monte Carlo.
All right, now, before we do it, tell me about this song. This is probably my favorite so far. I just dig it. It just gets stuck in your head. I love the lyrics. I love the video. You guys got to check it out. It's on my page if you guys want to see it. It's on It's on the band's page. Check it out. You have to see it. Monte Carlo, Dutch Rosenberg Theater. Just check it out. Just check it out. Tell me, how did this song come about?
It's just a fun, easy, lighthearted listener. I mean, a lot of artists come out with, I want to be the brooding artist, and they spend all this time and energy wanting to be pretentious and say, oh, well, my songs have this deep meaning and X, Y, Z. This song's just about a car, and it's just about a fun little song and fun to listen to.
It is cool. All right, let's check it out. Monte Carlo.
My brother's got a Monte Carlo. They paid $200 cash. Reupholster full foot on the console and the dash. My niece has got a Monte Carlo. She painted it chromium white. She's got the car bells making her off horse every night. My cousin's got a Monte Carlo. Drop down to the ground. And every time it drives down the avenue, it makes this fucked up sound. My uncle's got a Monte Carlo. Stereo's hella loud. He's got the sound system that'll make Charles Rachel proud. Some may say they don't like it that way. With that summer of jug in the backseat of the truck, it sounds much better in the Monte Carlo. My nana's got a Monte Carlo. Man, she's never late. She knows how to tap the power of that small block V8. My sister's got a Monte Carlo. Just still off the rims. She's got the gold in my house, so they match the trim. Ronald's got a Monte Carlo. A 1975. Keeps in the showroom cause he don't know how to drive. My lover's got a Monte Carlo. Tucked in her garage. She might let me drive it if I give her that massage. Hey, some may say they don't like it that way. Have someone rub you down while they escort you around. Well, it feels much better in the Monte Carlo. Better in a Monte Carlo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Monte Carlo, Dutch Rosenberg Theater. You guys, welcome back to the show.
All right.
All right, guys. How we doing tonight? Are we
Doing
hanging
good.
in there? Doing good? Enjoying your sodas? That's good. Tell me, Dutch, you got some shows coming up, man. Tell me you got a little tour happening, kind of thing.
Sort of micro tour.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, this Saturday, the 15th, is the legendary Ann Fest, which I'm sure you and a lot of other people have heard about it.
Oh, we're going to be there, baby.
It's our birthday party for our good friend Ann. This is the 13th year in a row we put it on.
53rd year.
53rd year, right.
Yeah.
It's like a Super Bowl now. Free show, and it's at Joe's Grotto, which is 32nd Street and Thunderbird in Phoenix. And this is an all-day event. Doors open at noon. Lots of different kinds of bands. There's metal bands, there's rock bands, there's a guy in a guitar a couple of times. There's rock covers, rock tributes. Anything you want, it's all there at ANFest.
It's going to be a great show.
Absolutely, good lineup.
What time are you guys going on?
We're around 6 o'clock or so, but we're encouraging everybody just to show up and see all the bands. There's a lot of great acts. Saint Madness is going to be there, Two in the Chest.
Great guys,
Sectus,
man. Great bands, great guys, those guys.
I love Sectus. I love seeing Christian and Runaway and Brian every time they play.
Yeah, that's what that's what ANFest is about, is supporting a local band, you know, and all these different local bands getting together each year. You know, this ANFest started in a house, you know, at Ann's house. So, and it's come 13 years, gone into venues, and it's just such a supportive camaraderie that comes together. You know, it's a good scene for
We played all of
Phoenix.
them except for what, one?
There's been a few. Sectus has played every single one.
Every single one?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man, being around that much. And tell everybody the awesome price on this.
This is no charge. It's
This
a
is
free
a
show.
free show.
Free show, you
So
guys.
get off your couch and come on down and see
Let's
some
pack this
local
place.
acts. You know, they're good bands.
Come down, say hi to everybody. Come and say hi to me. I'm going to be there cheering these guys on.
Come say hi to Dutch Rosenberg Theater.
We're going to have a great show. You guys are going to have a good time. You guys are playing a couple other shows. Tucson and Los Angeles, I hear, are in the mix. What's going on there?
June is just the ANFest locally. We'll be playing at the Down and Out in LA on July 29th. We'll be playing again here in Phoenix August 10th at Chopper John's. That's through Immortalized Productions. Adam Spleen has been doing a great job with Immortalized, is having us back. And then we're going to be doing Tucson, opening up for Timekeeper on August 14th.
That's great, man. Now, you've been doing a little bit of traveling here. So,
bit.
what's the what lit that fire?
I'm sorry.
What lit that fire under your rear to get you guys?
We've always been
moving?
wanting to play out of town.
We've always wanted to play
Always
out
wanted
of
to play
town. Yeah.
So this year we finally got to fruition of making our contacts and finally getting people out of town that want to help us build our listenership outside of Phoenix.
That's great,
Because I
man.
feel like we played Phoenix enough, and it's time to build the listenership elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Spread the love. Get it out
Exactly.
there. You bet. What we got some goals coming up. You got another album planned?
As soon as we get enough money, if you got about $20,000 you can loan me, and
Again with
Oh,
the
sure. Yeah, right here.
With the albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got albums and albums of material I could load in as soon as we
Yeah.
get the money involved.
There you go.
But that's the trade-off of doing it yourself is you got to pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, or you're not part of when you're an independent label, you got to pay for it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to raise the money first, then record, and not record first and then pray that you can pay it all back.
Right.
Yeah. Wonderful
Good
mix on that. Yeah. Yeah. whole new concept to the mud mix. Yeah.
Right.
So, you guys do anything else on the side? Do you have any acoustic projects or anything you're working on?
This is my bread and butter, my one and only. Dave is part of a cover band called Kingpin. Maybe you could tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been doing Kingpin. We got good guys in there: Lee Shipper, Ryan Schwartz, Dave Marshall, and me. We're just a local cover band. So, but I'm doing keys in there, so it's a total different aspect from Dutch Rosenberg Theater. So, but
keeps you
hell of a
busy.
good time, and yeah.
That's cool. You guys doing anything? You guys playing anywhere?
We played. We just played O'Kelly's, and we're actually looking for a singer, but we're gonna get some other gigs together and show what we have, so we can possibly attract a singer.
Oh, well, good luck. Very good. What is your favorite album? That's
It changes
anybody.
every 5 minutes.
There you go.
I can't tell you there's one favorite. I've got songs in my head all the time, you know.
And you like a lot of genres too.
Yeah, there's not really one I could say was my favorite. 'Cause,
Yeah.
It'll be different next time you ask me the question.
Oh yeah, yeah. As far as influences go, just listen to the album. Jeez.
Right.
We'd be here all night just discussing that.
Well, yeah. When we grew up, we could give you the cliche response. Oh, we listen to this band, the other band, all the typical Iron Maiden, Slayer responses you would get from anybody. As you learn and
Yeah.
grow, you play more.
AC/DC Highway to Hell.
There you go. This is a good choice.
There you go. That is a good one. I mean, a lot of us grew up on that one. What I know you're starting to play out of town a bit. What so far since you haven't been out of town? Do you have any favorite cities you visited?
I like LA.
Yeah,
We did Long Beach last year, and I just like that LA is not Phoenix.
Okay.
The people go out 7 nights a week.
Now Phoenix is a great place to play.
I
so
love Phoenix, but
so just
LA 's
making that
not
clear.
Phoenix.
But it's a whole different world.
It's a different world.
It's a whole different world there.
Phoenix is a very good place to play, but it's also just Friday, Saturday is where you're going to get away with having a decent show, unless you're opening for
Yeah, a lot of
a
those,
national
those
act.
Cali bars got built-in patrons that go over there, every Friday, Saturday night, or even Thursdays and Wednesdays nights.
Monday night, people are still
Right,
going out in LA.
They pretty much
Yeah,
pack
yeah,
in
that's
all
true.
the time,
Especially
no matter
downtown.
who's there. People just want to go out and have a good time over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say LA.
There you go. That's cool. What my question again, this is one of my favorites. Your pre-show rituals. I ask this to everybody. Tell me what you're doing like an hour before the show, 45 minutes, half hour, 15. Give me a breakdown. What's going on before Dutch goes on stage?
I'm not going to be pretentious. I just got to get a couple of beers and calm my nerves.
Awesome. Honest answer, man. That's great. Dave, what are you
Pretty
doing?
much the same thing. Bunch of cocaine,
Oh yeah, that'll calm your nerves real quick. Dave.
yeah.
He's having an 80s flashback. He's having a real bad 80s. So get him some crawlers or something quick, man. Get some coffee in this guy. Decaf. Cliff, you've been awfully quiet over here, man. Let's talk, man. What do you do before you get on stage?
I pretty much just put my gear together and put it on stage. I don't have any ritual.
What's going through your head before that first song starts?
Just making sure I have everything in ears so that way I can hear.
Go.
If I can't hear, it's going to be one of those shows.
Yeah. Bad night, yeah. That's for
You
sure. If
always
you can't
make
hear,
do
you're
with
in
it, though.
trouble.
I know that, but still, it's always nice to hear.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. What are you doing? What are you doing afterwards? How you relaxing after a big gig or a studio run or marathon?
After the gig, you're already relaxed. Because, you're really riding a high of just having to get off stage, and everybody loved it. So really, you're just out there. I just want to get out there, shake everybody's hand, and thank them for coming. And
Yeah, I've really been
Yeah.
enjoying the feedback that we've been
Yeah.
getting, and everyone, having a good time, and we can share that with them, and it's just been a blast, definitely.
That's great, man. That's good. And that keyword again, shaking everyone's hand, saying hello. See, these are cool dudes, just like everybody. Don't be afraid to say hi. But you guys remember the rule, the golden rule, everybody. Give the band like 5 minutes when they come off stage, just so they can like wipe the sweat off their face, go to the bathroom, have something to drink, get out of the way for the other band to get on, move their gears. Just give them a few minutes. They're not being rude. I say this all the time. They're brushing by you fast because they're trying to get the can or whatever, get something to drink. But they have to get their gear off and all that stuff too. So just give them a second. I promise they'll come out and say hi, especially this bunch. They're really cool like that. All right, back to the album again. When it comes to the songwriting process, I know this is a lot of songs you did over the years, and you put them together on this album. But when it comes to the writing process, like who does what? What are you writing? Are you writing the whole piece? Are these guys writing parts of it? Is everybody collaborating together? Who's writing the lyrics, the music? Tell me about
Dutch
it.
Rosenberg Theater.
yeah, yes to everything.
It's done.
Yes to everything. There you go. Yeah.
It's mainly Dutch
Mr. Dutch.
bringing the idea, and then everybody puts their little
Yeah, well,
touch to it.
We kind
Right.
of love it that way too. I mean, it's he knows what he's going to get out of us. We know what he kind of is capable of, and
You kind of know what to
comes up
expect.
with,
He knows what to
you know.
expect. Everybody works great
And,
together. Kind of thing.
It's a blast every time a new one pops up. So I love it every time.
So we had like the maestro and orchestra connection here, and everybody gets along with it.
The band has really good chemistry, and that's
That's-
why I've
that's
been playing
great.
with these guys for so long.
And it
is
shows.
They know.
It definitely shows when you see us. You'll have a good time.
Let's check out another tune, man.
Do it.
Definitely.
If you're cryptic, tell me about this one.
This is about what happens when you're cryptic.
Wow, I mean, geez. Just
Maybe
nail me
spit
there.
up my
Cool.
beer, man. I
Wow.
mean, my Coke.
That was a dumb question.
No, I'll be
That
serious.
Coke back up, man.
All right, hold on. Dave, you need a bib or a napkin or something, man? That was awesome. It's like everywhere. It is everywhere. That was awesome.
Sorry about the Coke.
It's all over
man.
Cliff.
Right.
It's right next to
Start
Cliff.
sniffing
It's
it
on
up.
everything.
Right.
That
Clean
was-
up
that
aisle
was
3.
great. Oh, I'm so glad I invited you guys over. Especially Dave.
Heck yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
come back
I'll-
anytime, man.
Let me retry that again. This song is driven by the heavy vibe, and it's when I came up with it. It's driven by the switch of the rhythm. The rhythm has a really hard stop on a dime switch
Yes, it does.
on both the front end and the back end. So the intro outro is a really hard dynamic change, and that's what I was going for with this kind of song. The lyrics really followed suit with that because it's really frenetic, chaotic, very rapid fire type of lyrics which go along with the music. But the music came first in this song because I wanted to hear that jerk you out of it kind of paradigm shift,
Cool.
front and back, and that's what drives this song.
It does it, yeah. It's definitely wild. All right, you guys, hang on. If you're cryptic, Dutch Rosenberg Theater.
Blinded cryptic? You know what most people never will know.
If you're cryptic, yes. Sitting here with Dutch and the boys. Oh, they're making me crazy. They're trashing the place. It's like having Motley Crue here, but
Crazy.
with
You already
Ozzy.
crazy.
I'll call my
Nuts.
insurance guys. They'll take care of you.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you call mine? That's why I'm stuck here, because I have such wonderful insurance people. Yeah. I don't even get me started on that shit. I can't say nothing. I think I got to get a lawyer. Anyway. All right. So we were talking about this a little bit earlier about self-taught musicians and taking lessons and all that shit, being schooled. You guys are all self-taught musicians. And what I was trying to say earlier, I don't think we were off when we were talking about this, is that playing with both of those types of musicians my whole life, man, I get a kick out of both of them. But the ones that haven't been schooled seem to have, no offense everybody, because I'm a schooled musician, but when I play with musicians that aren't, they seem to have a bigger imagination. They seem to have figured out things that we can't learn in school. It's like they've learned. They figured little tricks out.
Well, you
that
also
are
get
just
your own
freaking
style,
awesome.
too.
Now the school musicians, I mean, they come up with awesome stuff too, and they think out of the box as well. But it just seems like I run into like guys like you, and you're doing stuff like this. That's just, it's so cool. It's
That
different.
no one else is doing.
Yeah, there you go.
Style, baby.
I've seen both.
Yeah.
I've seen.
And I respect
the
both
trained
ends. I think it's
musician that
great
has
on both ends. I'm
imagination.
just saying it's so different, but I
ends.
enjoy both of them.
I've seen both. Joe Satriani is one of the best guitarists of all time, in my opinion. Every song
Wonderful.
I hear, I'm like, how did you think of that?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And then I agree with your point too, that when you're not trained and coming from all that schooling background, you have a little bit more loose attitude to it. At the end of the day, I think it's what the audience can respond to, and I think what separates the wheat from the chaff is the musician who's able to identify and connect with their audience.
Absolutely.
So whether or not you're trained, whether or not you come from a background of classical training or whatever, it's can you create a product that your audience loves?
Yeah. Yep. And both
make
musicians,
that
both
connection,
musicians can do it. They just approach it from different ways.
Sure.
One's looking at the book first because that's how his mind's programmed, and the other one is looking at the imagination first because that's what he's got.
Absolutely.
So you just come up with incredible things on both ends, and it's cool. And you mix them together, you really come up with some cool stuff like that too.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, don't want to go off on a tangent there, but I just thought it was important to point that out to everybody that. As a teacher, I'm not trying to put myself out of business as a music teacher, but kids, you don't all need lessons. Some of you guys just need a good imagination. But come to me anyway, and let me help you just get you started on that imagination.
Go to jimstarke.com.
Yeah, right. No, not yet. Yeah,
Okay.
Just hit me up on Facebook right now. Yeah, but anyway, this is a great question I have for you. What advice can you give for the young kids and the upcoming bands? Not just the kids that are just starting out, but the bands that have just started out for the last couple of years too. So the young ones, quote unquote. All you guys, what advice would you give to them coming into the music business, the do's and don'ts?
Fucking thing turned off.
So,
It's just in your head, Dave.
oh, the air conditioner turned off. Oh yeah, is it humming on you?
Noise you don't notice until it stops.
Yeah, there you go. It's all quiet here now.
Advice that I would have for anybody, young or old, is keep your listener in mind. I hear, and I've said this a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more. There's a lot of acts I've seen that have the same songwriting formula for every song, and it sounds, by the time you get done with their 45-minute set, it sounds like one.
You've heard one
long,
song.
redundant song, and which sounds killer for your first song. You come out with this fiery opening number, everybody's digging it, and then everybody cheers you on after that first song, and then the second song sounds pretty much the same, but people are still digging it because the vibe, the heaviness, you have that little groove that you're writing, and by song 4 or 5, everybody's going out to smoke a cigarette because you're beginning to wear down everybody's listenership. So the only advice I could give everybody is change the paradigm up a little bit. give your listener something. Shift it around, shift the vibe up, change songwriting formulas. Make it so that when you have a new song, make it where the listener definitely can tell there's a new song coming in. Make it a 45-minute quality set of music.
Dynamics.
There you go.
That's my 2 cents.
That's Dave's 2 cents. Dave's that voice in the
Dynamics.
background. It's not Cliff, because Cliff said about 6 words since he's been here.
What?
Yeah.
Now 7.
Not
You wanna see? Yeah. And you guys got to see Cliff, man. He's this burly dude, man, taking up like half the room. He's a monster.
Yeah, get off me!
You should see his drum kit.
And
Yeah.
he's like
Stop
very
laying
intimidating, but he's
pocket.
like sitting here like Bella got a hold of him, man. It's hilarious. Bella's not even in here. She's outside behaving herself, man. Good thing she's not in here. Cliff be
She's scared
crying.
of Cliff.
Yeah. And Cliff's afraid of Bella. Look how
They
quiet
got
he is.
dirty in here.
She
Though.
looked at him 1 second when he got
Dirty
here.
probably eat that little fucking dog.
Oh my god! All right, since we're on this, we got you guys in a good mood now. Great. Give me a good Spinal Tap story. What's your Spinal Tap adventure bar none, man? Something horrible that's happened to you either on the road or backstage. Something awesome. Come on, give me something.
Oh,
You've been doing
well,
this way
no,
too many years
I'd have to
not
think
to give
about
it
that.
up. So give me a
Yeah, that's a,
Okay, I
that's
got a crazy one at the Mason Jar. I forgot who we were opening up for,
that right there. You don't have to
No.
say anything after that. You just said the Mason.
but
Jar.
here we are.
That's all you have to
We're
say.
on stage, and my head blows up, kind of smokes. So I sit there for I don't know how long trying to fix this stupid thing. Just looking at everybody. These guys are going on because the show must go on.
And you got your own.
Yeah,
homemade
and I
fog
spinal
machine
tapped
going on
that
your
motherfucker
handbag.
up there for like about 35 minutes, just looking at the back of my head, scratching my fucking head.
Trying to
In the moment.
disassemble it on stage.
Yeah, disassemble it, trying to get
You know,
the
the funny
fuse
part-
on the inside.
The
or
funny
some
part is you probably
bullshit.
had like half the fans are like really into the
hell.
band watching them jam, but you had every guitar geek in that
Yeah,
audience going, dude, check it out how he's doing that, man. Wow. Check out the inside of that thing. Wow, how's he fixing that? You know they were into it. You know they were.
Well, they like the
Electronics majors
smoke
in
show.
Oh
that
yeah, I'm
they made
sure.
Before that,
Probably smelled like hell, but it probably looked great.
The moral of the story is do not buy crate amps.
the moral of the story is: do not buy a different cabinet before you go to the gig. I bought a different ohm cabinet that was not for my head. It was a 4-ohm cabinet, and I needed an 8-ohm cabinet.
Oh,
So it
you guys,
smoked
listen
my-
to that. Say that again.
It smoked
Say that
my
again.
outputs.
Repeat that.
You just got to make sure you have the same ohm cabinet, because I made the mistake of just buying one before I go to the gig.
It
and
did
didn't
not
check
match
it.
up.
Didn't match up, and
And
third song,
kaboom.
it smoked the outputs of the transistor board on a solid state head.
Kids, very important. That head looks amazing. Dad, please give me $500. It's got the greatest sound in the world. But if it doesn't match the rest of the gear, guys, it's not compatible. You're going to have your own wonderful stage show like Dave had.
Yeah. So that was my
Yeah.
Spinal Tap moment.
Yeah.
I'll always remember. These guys will always remember it too, because they were laughing their
Well, they're never
ass
going to
off.
let you forget it. Every
Fucking
time you play a
laughing
show,
their
they're going to
ass
go,
off.
Dave, did you
Fucking
check the back of the
watch
amp? Did
me
you make
do
sure
that.
everything matches up?
Oh, my
You're never going to
God.
hear the end of that. And you know, I'm going to start saying that to you at shows too, just to rub it in. Just make sure you're going. Oh, absolutely. I
One
got you
cab,
now.
one head now. One cab, one head. See, we used to travel with full stacks. We used to we used to jam in Helvin with full stacks. So I think we were doing some split thing where me and Dutch were splitting one stack on, or one cab on one side and the other cab on the other side. Both of ours,
Yeah.
so we could hear each other.
Yeah.
And so that happened.
And you guys, you just went right through it, huh?
We just
total
kept going.
pros.
Hey,
Total
what else are we
pros.
gonna do? We gotta play.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep going on.
We got another guitar. We're good, man.
And
We
later
were waiting
on,
to see if he was gonna show up to the show or not.
Oh, that is great, man.
in hindsight, I should have just got on the vocals and just backed up vocals and
Grab the tambourine and start singing.
exactly, clap, audience participation, that whatnot, instead of acting like a
Repair guy on stage.
Spinal Tap dude in the back.
He's
Oh
his
my
own
God,
roadie.
the bubble won't open. What the fuck?
Oh man, any other stories, you guys? Good?
I don't really have any of that good, but there was one
bullshit.
time our old bass player wind up not showing up, and so we're ready to go on stage, and I get a call on the cell phone as I'm plugging in my gear, and the old bass player says, "Where are you guys?" And we're all, of course, all three of us are like, "We're at the gig
On stage.
And he says, "I thought it was at this venue," and we were like, "No, it's at venue Y over here across town."
Oh,
So
my
needless to say, he was
God.
about 15 minutes late. He made it, but he went to the wrong venue.
Oh man, you guys got off easy in these things. That's good though.
Well,
That's the
don't
first
jinx
that
us. We're probably
happened. No,
our
yeah,
best
really. I'm
final
sorry. I
tech
should have
stories,
said nothing. No shit.
They're probably yet to come.
Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. That's
know,
great.
You get the broken string moments and stuff like that, you know. You
Well, that
just gotta
happens,
be
yeah, that's
prepared
everybody's
and
gig,
Move
yeah.
on, you know.
I always have the problem of this.
I always
the drum
cringe when-
riser's never big enough.
What's that?
Mine's always the drum riser's never big enough, so I can.
You can't fit all
Everything's
your,
hanging off.
everything's hanging there.
Yeah, you gotta get a 5-piece.
Because everybody wants me to play a 5-piece.
Cliff's drum kit. You got to
like a
tell
21,
them about your drum
27.
kit.
Yeah,
What, the
break out.
Millennial Falcon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like a 9-piece drum set.
Oh, that's all. Just a little 9-piece drum set. I call it the Millennium Falcon because it's not awesome or nothing. It's just a little piece of shit 9-piece. Okay, so let's talk about this set. And how big are these 9 pieces that are? What is it? Tell me. How many do you have?
No, it's just a Pearl export.
Oh, just.
just. Yeah.
He's so modest.
Yeah, right. Drum riser's not big enough. Yeah, okay. I can see why though. That's
just-
cool.
The 4 toms,
There
2
have been
floor
many
toms.
times we played on the floor and not
Yes.
on the stage.
Yeah, there you go.
Because of Cliff.
And he's the size of Sasquatch over here, so you
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah.
size
We
of
don't
his
put our
drum.
shit-
It's
we
9
gotta
pieces,
stand
but
on
you know
the
how
floor.
big those pieces are. Yeah.
Well, that's all
Awesome.
good. You know, you-
What is your biggest challenge other than your freaking drum set issue and you can't freaking match up your damn amps and your bass player not showing up to the right freaking place? What's your biggest challenge? Yeah, what's the toughest thing about this whole thing?
With all due respect to everybody listening, it's the sound guys.
Yes.
There's a lot of sound guys that are good, and there's some I can name off that always are excellent, but I won't name off any names beyond that. If we go into some unknown venue or some venue where they have a new guy, it's generally that we can't hear everything that we need to hear, because a lot of what we do as an act involves timing. Because
Yes.
as you'll see at the Anfest show, there's a lot of timing-oriented sound cues in our set that we need to be able to hear. So the biggest challenge, to answer your question, is that we need to be able to hear each other. Sometimes you can't always get that. As long as the audience can hear it all, great. Sometimes on stage it's difficult to pick up certain cues. Especially, and I'm empathizing with Cliff here because he is back there with his. He's being modest about his drum kit. It's a beast.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
it is. That's why I'm giving him hell
And
about this. Yeah.
a lot of times they give him this little dinky little monitor amp, and he's of course blasting away at full throat on all these cymbals, and all the trebles drowned out, and he could barely hear his own kick and snare as it is, let alone us.
Sure.
So it's
So what's he playing to?
it's a mission of mercy with Cliff sometimes because
It's a lot of times.
yeah.
Hopefully, everybody's
so-
playing along to what I'm playing.
All right, so let's do this. Let's talk about this. So we got sound men that are just coming into the biz, and we got some great ones out there. And I'd love to say a few names too. I'm sure we've mentioned a couple of some of the great ones that are out there.
They're really good sound guys out there.
I'm just afraid to say anybody's names right now without anyone's permission. But as soon as I get permission, I'm going to load up a couple of them big time because they're awesome and everybody deserves to work with these guys. But
sound guys.
this is what I'm going to get to. So you roll up to the show, and let's help out the other bands here. We got a new sound guy in the house. I haven't met him before. How do we communicate with this gentleman without pissing him off, without getting
You
an
be
attitude?
fucking nice to the sound guy.
Be nice to the sound guy.
You know, just
Also,
be
one
courteous.
nice thing for
Yeah.
younger bands: get on stage as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Don't take freaking 10 minutes to get on stage. It's ridiculous. I've got a freaking huge ass drum set, and I can set it up in like 5-10
He
minutes.
gets it done quick. I'm very impressed with what he's done with that.
and
Millennium
break down and
Falcon.
get off the stage.
Big time.
Break
for other
down
people
when
to
you're
get
done.
on.
Right.
Now, That's a great one too, because the sound guy's got to get the mics on another kit as well as getting them off your kit
gotta
and
get that
everything
going.
else.
Yeah,
You
because
gotta
he'll
get
show up and he
moving.
looks at my kit and he goes, I don't have that many
Yeah.
freaking mics.
Yeah, well, yeah, they never, yeah. Well, you can't blame the guy. Not everybody's got a kit that's like a Goliath like you have.
Come on, dude.
So check it out, you guys. Don't get pissed at the sound guy. So understand, he's working with 9 different bands that day.
Correct.
He's got to reset the sound for every single band.
one.
And you guys are thinking, well, just keep the sound so. No, because every guitar player has his own sound that he wants. Every
band
drummer
should
has
be
his own
hopefully
sound he wants.
different.
If every band shows up with his own sound, man, then that's another situation we have to deal with later, because now we're all fighting for the gear. We're all who's doing what. And so we got to come to some kind of happy medium. That's why I wanted to discuss this. Somehow everybody figure it out, use your heads, put it together. How can we communicate better with the sound guys, make them happy so they can make us happy? Let's just keep that in mind for the next shows. Let's just all work together.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Are we cool with that? You guys want to add anything to that one?
I think you nailed it.
All right, you guys, I don't mean to keep cutting you off and bouncing from different subjects, but I got to go back to the songwriting process again. I saw another video and another song you guys have, Everything's Coming Up Roses. And this video, I know you're already laughing.
I know which one you're talking about.
All right, so check it out. So if you see Dutch in Monte Carlo, I don't want to say it, but you got to see it. He's just opposite in this video because
Total.
I don't want to say what it is because you just have to see it. I'm trying to build a little suspense here. I want to tell you all about it because it's awesome. It just cracks me every time I see it. But then when I go look
you
at
don't even smoke.
Coming Up Roses, he takes us to a whole different world, and then he's in a whole different thing, and he's a whole different person, and it's just. I don't know. He's like obnoxiously gifted this way. It's funny.
Thank you.
All right, Dutch, back to this now. Tell me how you wrote that one. What is that about? And anything else you want to say about your songwriting process?
Sure,
because you really come up with everything is so different.
Well, and that comes back to what I was talking about earlier. Make every new song a new experience for your listener. When we, and I should say but what the songwriting process is for this band is I bring the concept to the table, I show it to the bands, and I say, here's the roadmap, you take me there. And that's basically the songwriting process.
You got the architect and the
I've
builders.
already got the whole blueprints as to what's about to happen in the song. So the blueprints then have to be decidedly different every time. Okay?
Yeah.
To talk about Everything's Coming Up Roses, let's use this as an example. Okay?
Please do, because not to cut you off, I have to say this really quick.
Sure.
Where you're getting at every song's gonna be different. It's its own show. You do that. Every song you guys do is different. It doesn't,
Absolutely.
like you were saying, you don't start the first song and it is just mumbled into and meshed into one big long 45-minute song.
Sure.
It is a different song. Every single tune is different. It's hard to walk away from your show with one or two, with like one song stuck in your head, like that same beat. It's like you walk out of your show kind of scrambled. There's like so many different, scrambled in a good way. I mean, there's so many different songs you've heard in so many different ways it's approaching. Like you were saying, you have music cues you have to hit. It's bigger than what you're talking about because the turnarounds and shit that you have in some of this stuff is just way out there. So I just want to throw that in so everybody understands that. It's really cool. You're going to Dutch Rosenberg Theater. It's not like going to a concert. It's different. It's a different experience. You got to check this out, you guys.
Thank you. That's kind words. I appreciate that.
I think Dutch is kind of allergic to 4/4 time.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Which is ironic because we do have a lot of 4/4 time songs.
He writes in H sharp.
Or H flat. Right?
H sharp. Yeah, not H. Yeah, right.
But
Right.
he definitely knows how
3 flat.
how
Yeah.
to write songs for the band members that are in the band. Also, that's what I appreciate too.
Right on.
He writes them, you know.
Well, he
With
pretty
Cliff in
much knows
mind.
how we play
me in mind,
and what our
you know,
strong
trying a little
points
bit.
are.
Right.
And yeah, you know. So
Well, there's nothing better than to sit down and know what your orchestra is capable of doing.
Absolutely.
As the conductor or the maestro, you know.
Well, and you're
And
right.
you've got these strong musicians with you that are capable of doing
Absolutely.
awesome things.
well, he's just got a
So
lot of
that
patience.
just
like
opens
you
you
said.
up. Well, you know what, Dave, I can
We
see.
know, Dave. We know.
I'm starting to understand that with Dave, everybody needs a lot of patience with Dave, not just us. But that's okay. We're all good with
Nice.
that. We have patience with you. You just keep playing the way you are, and we'll be nice to you. We'll take it slow. We'll get you a helmet if you need one later.
I might.
We'll get you some. We'll get you some
I was
bubble
gonna buy
wrap
a
and
helmet in the
we'll-
lobby.
Yeah, well, good.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Tony
The-
Brown's a silent auction there in the lobby of the studio.
Yeah.
The running joke too is that we're always wait to see if Dave remembers his own songs.
Oh, yeah. But coming back to what you're saying, you're right. It is greater than the sum of its parts because it comes from original concept to playing to the strengths of the guys who are going to be performing the song. I tell them make it your own.
That's what I love
That's
about it.
yeah, that's the
And
greatest.
that's how
They're
you
going
write.
to that's going to interpret to the
nailed.
listener, and the listener's going to have a good time because you're having a good
That's
time.
what I was
So
talking
that's
about.
the
That's what I
main
was trying to get
formula with this kind of songwriting process. So back to the core then of the original concept, that has to be different every time. So use a different formula every time. Maybe sometimes a song is based on the lyrics and you write the music around it, and then another song is vice versa.
Right.
Maybe a song is inspired by an R&B, inspired by a country, inspired by a classical, and tries to emulate or even mock that type of musical style. Sometimes I just have a title, and I'll write an entire concept just based on a title. Sometimes I'll have a really catchy lyrical vibe, and I'll base the music around that. Some songs are several different little rhythms that are just jammed together into one big song.
That's what I like about Dutch. He takes
Yeah.
different writing styles abroad. It's not just first chorus, first chorus, first chorus. It's a whole different gambit of writing styles because let's face it, there's tons of writing styles. Everyone's got their own kind of writing style. He's got one that touches like all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why.
Yeah, as you go to that
always
show,
love
come see
playing
you
with
guys,
Dutch,
and it's a different tune everywhere.
Sure.
What's that like, Cliff? Trying to keep up with every tune is different. As a drummer, it's like you guys all kind of have your niche. You get to kind of play everything at every show. What's that
It
like?
can be frustrating at times, especially when you can't hear on stage.
How often is he dodging drumsticks?
Every other show.
Oh, Dave's pointing at himself again. Dave's showing me his scars from the drumsticks. They're all over the back of his head. This is great. So we know who the problem's. Oh, Dave, God, what are we gonna do with this guy? He's obviously got to keep him around. He's awesome.
Sure.
Dave's the trouble child, but he's good.
So everything's coming up roses. We were about to answer that question.
Yes,
and
let's get back to this.
the core of that concept is your punk bands.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking of your Black Flag, your Exploited. Coming from that approach, as the song goes, where it's just 2-chord punk, and is really not very technical at all. Is let's blister our faces off for 3 minutes, and let's just call that a day. The song concept then is Everything's Coming Up Roses, which is an old Ethel Merman song title. I ripped it off from Ethel Merman and her song. But the song is, you're so upset at the world and you want to destroy and burn everything down as the punker. Stop and smell the roses because it ain't that bad. So it's all this angst and frustration that the typical punker, the typical metalhead is got pent up inside of them. The message of the song is playing the devil's advocate. It's like you're so punk and you're so metal and you're so pissed off at the world. What do you got to be so pissed off about? Is the name of the song.
Stop.
Yeah.
And then you have the video, which is just a
Oh, the
channel
video
change.
is. Oh my God.
Okay.
The video, it kills me, man. You got to see this video.
One of the other things
Awesome.
that I enjoy about the creative process is that the song and the video can exist independently of one another. The song represents a concept, but then the video is its own independent concept.
Oh, it definitely is.
Okay, and
Definitely
the
is.
concept between the video is you've seen the pictures of count how many things wrong with this picture. Okay,
Right.
you've got the two pictures that the water level's not the same in both windows, or the guy's nose is on backwards or something. He's wearing 2 left shoes, whatever. That's the video concept.
Sure.
What's wrong with this video? So you're left to count how many things are not correct about the video. You've got the singer whose mic isn't plugged in. You've got the drummer who's playing this kit that's about 2 inches wide.
I love that. I loved it. It was like
count
a
how many
Barbie,
things
like
wrong with it.
SpongeBob kit. It was like great.
That's generally it.
Don't say anything else about it. Let everybody watch this.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
It is great. It is a great one. Between that and Monte Carlo, it's 2 different worlds totally. But God, you guys are getting a huge point across on both of them. It's so cool. Oh, that is so cool. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for listening tonight. Dutch Rosenberg Theater. You guys take it home for me, man.
All right, thanks a lot for listening. This is Dutch.
This is Dave.
This is Cliff.
We are
Dutch
Rosenberg Theater.
You're listening to James C. Scott Radio.
James C. Starke
Starke.
Radio, you pineapple.
Fucking Dave, man. I swear. He stole the
Starke,
show.
Starke.
You guys, thanks so much for listening. You guys see these guys this weekend at
Shout out
AnFest.
to AnFest.
You guys,
Free show.
this has been great. Peace. I'm out.